Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my review of this knife. This is the HK5 by BPS Knives, and you are at the We All Juggle Knives channel, by the way. Welcome, one and all. The price on this knife was only $30. It is available on Amazon. I will include a link for your convenience in the text description box if you want to pick one up. In this video review, we're going to put this knife through a series of tasks. It should be fun and informative, but first... Yes, that's me, waving to you. What's up? What's up? Welcome to the channel and the review. Yes, got this knife. Here is the knife in hand. Here's a closer look at the knife. This knife has a true full tang. It has walnut handle scales. It has a Scandi grind. The blade length is 5.1 inches. Now the true full tang is also an extended tang. As you can see, it has a lanyard hole in the extended tang. The steel on this is 1066 carbon steel. I wear a large size glove, and as you can see, it fits my large sized hand pretty well. It does have some finger grooves, and it is very sharp. Okay, doing stuff with a knife. I know, doing stuff with a knife in a review, that's crazy, you know, I'm a maverick. Here I am drawing it down a piece of wood. This knife came incredibly sharp, alright? When you see the, I'll show you the initial sharpness later, but scary sharp. I can tell that the edge on this was actually finished by hand by a real knife person. Now BPS knives, they have a whole range of outdoor and bushcraft and camp type knives. Now this knife was manufactured in the Ukraine, right? BPS knives, they are in the Ukraine. I know it's an inexpensive knife. People might be afraid, oh, is that made in China? Nope, made in the Ukraine. And it is done right. I gotta say, the edge was done right. Look at that, it's 3D. Yeah, it's 3D coming at you. Alright, that knife is making good progress at making the pointy stick. Now, you know me, the purpose of my life is to make pointy sticks or pointy pieces of steel, pointy shanks, throwing knives, that sort of thing. Now, just kidding. My purpose, of course, is to help you get the best gear. So how are you all doing these days? I hope you're doing well. Oh, how am I doing? I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. When I filmed this, it was started in the very early morning because I wanted to avoid like all the noise of people getting into their vehicles, you know, starting up their trucks and starting their day. So this is the very early morning. Unfortunately, we're having a little bit of a humidity problem over in New England. Every bug known to man was out there. All right, there's your vampire steak. Yes, it has done well. We have an entire arsenal. Not a single vampire has attacked since I got this knife. Doing more stuff, just some notch making practice there. Making a series of notches on our notch stick. All right, on our shard of firewood. I sped this footage up slightly because making notches... Maybe not the most exciting thing in the world, but hey, you got to practice. You got to practice all your skills. I learned about notch sticks from the bushcrafters I subscribe to. It's just a stick you practice your notches on, making some progress. This has a very fine edge. It's a great slicer, and yeah, I will slice up some other things. But woodwork is a lot of what bushcraft knives do. Okay, there you go. You see our series of notches. Ain't they pretty? All right, speaking of meat, yes. This is 100% vegetarian except for the hanger steak, but everything else is vegetarian. No, just kidding. But this thing goes right through. Like if you're a hunter or a trapper, you need to cut up or process some game, or if you just brought some meat to your camp cookout out there and wanted to use this knife, yeah, cut very clean. All right, making some kindling. I'm not going to go too crazy with the batoning as far as, you know, it has a fine edge. You don't really want to pound this through a knot on super hard wood because, you know, you could damage your edge. But little kindling sticks like this will be no problem. Sped up the footage there. No, just drank a lot of coffee. No, just kidding. I like my bushcraft club. Yeah, you always got to carve your bushcraft club or maybe a mallet. Gotta earn your man points that way. You're not a man unless you have a caveman club. That's just how it is. So with batoning, you can also use batoning to make a piece of wood the exact width you need for carving. So it doesn't always have anything to do with a fire or fire making. There are other uses. All right, so there you go. Speaking of fire, so can you use this as a striker for your fire steel? What is the spine like? Well, we shall see. Oh, and those shavings are just whittling byproduct. All right, so there you go. There you go. So yeah, you can definitely use the spine of this to strike your fire steel. Why don't you use a separate striker? Oh, don't ask that. That's when my eyes narrow and I see off in the distance and I say, I want to use the knife. No separate striker. All right, initial sharpness coming up. This thing came crazy, crazy sharp. Just look. Yeah, they did an excellent job. I would give this an A+ as far as initial sharpness. You got to be careful with all knives, but especially be careful with this frickin' thing. Here is the sheath that it came with. It is a leather sheath. It does have a belt loop on the back and then another loop with a dangler option. Yes, don't you touch my dangler. The sheath overlaps a lot of the handle, helping to hold it in. And it does not have a loop for a fire steel, but some of their other sheaths do have that. Here is a comparison with some other outdoors-oriented knives that I do use. Those are them in the sheaths, but through the magic of editing. From the left, we have the Hoffman Richter knife, very inexpensive knife that I have reviewed, and that's why I use it as my beater knife. Next to that, we have a Brissa Enzo knife from Finland. Excellent knife, but pricey. Next to that, we have the BPS knife, and next to that, we have a MORA Garberg, an excellent all-around outdoor knife, but more than twice the price of the BPS knife. Next to that, we have the Kansbowl, which has a much more affordable price, and it is a Bushcraft favorite. So as you can see, the BPS knife is the longest of these, very wide blade in comparison, and it has a very strong type of tang. So if you need something a little bigger than the others, maybe consider this. Final thoughts on the HK5. Well, it's got a lot to like. It really gives you a lot of knife for $30, a lot of cutting power. It is an epic slicer and very good for whittling and woodwork. A strong full tang, came super sharp. It does have finger grooves. Some people don't like finger grooves. If you have large size hands, it should fit you pretty perfectly, as it does me. However, BPS Knives actually has a whole range of outdoor oriented knives with, they have, slightly different blade shapes, blade lengths, and handle shapes. So if you don't want the finger grooves, they actually have many other models that do not have them, right? So check those out. For your convenience, I will include a list of links to their whole product line, and you can just browse around at your leisure. It will definitely be worth your time. So my final conclusion, I feel like I definitely got my money's worth. Definitely, it punches above its weight. I mean, a lot of value here. All right, it's well made. You can strike your fire steel, make kindling, make notches, carve a tent stake. You can slice up game, process meat. So definitely highly recommended as a camp knife or bushcraft knife. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like videos like this where the reviewer demonstrates some functions of the knife as they give you information, feel free to subscribe. All right, try to use the links in the text description box. Those do help keep the channel rolling, and I appreciate all who use them. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.